Hi guys, my name is Meads. Welcome to my 2016 picks. Now this is a combination of the bottom, the things that could have been better, and my top picks. A little combination of everything, I guess. Now, just a little statistics. I've made about 229 videos as of 2016, just alone within that time frame. Now, some of those reviews I probably did at the end of 2015. I could have just splashed over 2016, and more than likely something that I'll be doing around this time. And so on this list is only the figures that I've reviewed. Obviously, there's still a lot of that I haven't reviewed yet, and I'm not going to put it here. Yeah, just to make it fair for this list. It's actually quite a bit. So out of those 229 videos, I would say a good 200 of those are actual toy reviews. Some of them are kits, but they're still toys. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm not going to show them to you. That's a lot of figures to show, and some of them are in storage. And it's just a lot to go through. Yeah, so I'm just going to be discussing my picks. So let's start off with could have been great, but disappointing. Actually, I have another one that's honorably mentioned. So it's kind of in that gray area that it could been great again, but yeah, there's something going on. So with that list, let's start off with Polynian Yume. Now, for those who remember the Polynian series, they're really cool. They're that robotic female. Well, little did I know that Shamrock was a guy. So they finally got Yume, which is the first one with a lot more accessories. But little did I know that I guess the first run wasn't that great. Well, the one I had has a lot of loose joints, and I figured a way to fix them using a floor polish, but still, it was a bit disappointing for having that, kind of the next step up with accessories, and it didn't deliver the way I wanted it to. So, that's makes her in that list. Next one is the Mel build red frame. Even though it's a Mel build, the red frame seems a bit lacking. If you don't get the flight pack, yeah. I guess it's partly because I'm so used to seeing the red frame in the Master Grade form with the tactical arms. You know, the Delta Kai, that big giant sword that turns into a bow or machine, or yeah, the machine gun. Or the Gatling gun, I guess. So I'm so used to that. Well, actually, the Gatling gun is for the blue frame. But anyways, it's a bit lacking, and some parts of the red doesn't match with the red frame. Some parts of it, so it could have been better, definitely. Next one is the Player Sky Steampunk Batman. I really like the series, but the steampunk, the design is just too busy. I didn't like it. Yeah. Well, it's a bit misleading, I guess. But, nonetheless, I do enjoy that particular, that line. And out of those lines, I still prefer the Spartan, definitely. And as well as the Western one. I'm not sure if it was, I think that was from the previous year. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. We have the Mondo Iron Giant. Now, the Mondo Iron Giant, it's quite unique, very nostalgic. I remember watching that growing up. It's been a while. Unfortunately, for what you're getting for the price point, it's ridiculous. That's a $300 figure. And definitely there's a lot of cool $300 figure that you can get in the market. Namely Hot Toys. But some could argue, well, Hot Toys it's not always that great. But nonetheless, for what I'm getting, the figure itself, I would say feels like a $150 toy. Around that price point. I mean, you do have the LED, you have the sound bites, which is great, but it feels lacking for what you're getting in terms of details. Obviously, it's based off the animation, but still, could have been better for what you're paying for. So that's my take on that. Next one is the SH Figure Arts Bowser. For the most part, main issue that or the consensus that everybody has, it's too small. Yeah, it would have been great if Bowser was bigger, but it might be based off the older Mario series where Bowser is that size, and in some aspect it would make sense to make him small. And yeah, just to or you can make it too big, otherwise the cost will go up as well. It's already a $40-50 figure for figure arts, and just make him bigger, there's a trade-off on that. So yeah, again, could have been great, but disappointing. Speaking of which, Ultron. Yeah, and it's a P Bandai. If they could have just improved the shoulder articulation, if they made that telescoping, that you can stretch it out and you get more articulation out of that, it would have been great. It would have been just great. But no, it was disappointing. Yeah. Next up is the Good Small Arms New Arhan. That's the second one from that particular line. Chamber was the first one. I really liked it. He has like a lot of cool accessories and gimmicks. But the New Arhan, you have that transformation, which is really cool. That the egg pod and the part of the becomes the base. Really great. Problem with that one is posability. Kind of gets loose because of transformation. And yeah, the crazy huge weapon he has, he cannot hold up quite well. So that is my problem on that. Again, could have been great, but disappointing. Another one, Oritoys Optimus Prime. I really like Oritoys for their Acid Rain figures, and as well as their mechs. And seeing that they're doing an Optimus Prime got me intrigued. Unfortunately, it's a nice design, don't get me wrong, but the gimmicks, it's just not there. You think that it will open up or some crazy articulation. No. It just it's just that, which is lacking. And hence why, and plus it's a bit expensive. Yeah, it just didn't deliver. Next one is the Sentinel 4-inch Nell Rockman EXE, or the Network Battle one. My problem with that one is the loose elbow joint. It just doesn't connect for the most part, and they made so many variants of that. It's ridiculous. Well, not that True Force did that same kind of deal, but even then, that's probably I'm gonna put down that list here. But the San Diego Comic Con one was good. I like that recolor, but nonetheless, going back to the Network Battle, yeah, didn't really like it. Next one is the Robot Damashi Full Armor Gundam Mark II. Now, I have to say the Mark II inside of that is way better than the normal release Mark II. But once you put on the armor, that side skirt, it just restrained the heck out of it. You're better off removing those pipes and I think getting that more articulation. Yeah. So that's my little issue with that one. It's still a great figure. It's just a bit, yeah. And actually, getting the AGP version, you're actually getting more stuff. I kind of like that more. Yeah, so not really fun of the Robot Damashi version. The next one is the Varble Action Heroes Lucario. So this is the first one they made. It's nice. I like it. Although, I still like the D-Arts version more, just in terms of what you can do. And there's like the seam line, and it feels really cheap. It's kind of hard to put it, but it's like a step down from figure arts, but you're paying a $70 price point since it's variable action. The variable action line has always been expensive. I'm not sure if it's just that the production cost is more since they're not making as much as Bandai, but yeah, it's just a bit lacking. And plus, the first time I'm seeing that the size comparison is a little smaller and you're paying more. Yeah, although it's a bit different. Having Mewtwo, so which I will discuss. Mewtwo is on a different list. Next up is the SHF Black Widow. Now, a lot of people like to have the Black Widow figure. The head sculpt was great, but the chest area, it's just not painted correctly. It doesn't have the same skin tone as the rest of the body. And I really don't like the way they did the elbow and knee patches where it stays on top when you bend the knees. I don't like that. I don't mind having that multiple joint, or where the knee is in the middle, knee armor or knee part is in the middle. I wish they've done it that way, but no. Yeah, kind of weird. I don't like it when they put the armor or it just stuck on the top part of the leg or in the elbow. Feels weird, or looks weird. Next up is SH Figure Arts Charizard. Now this is a reissue of the D Arts version, but it's the same mold. The color has been improved. They added that the world thing for his, I believe, his seismic toss. And also they added flame effect parts, but making it P Bandai, it just doesn't make sense. Why? And maybe they'll do that with Venusaur and Blastoise as well, which I don't know why. I mean, if they're putting different effect parts, there might be some merit in getting it, and they're gonna release the, I think, in the Askatchum Figure Arts and the Team Rocket. Yeah, but still. Anyways, moving on. Shin Godzilla is the last one on this list. Honestly, I like the Shin Godzilla, but as more people kind of commented on the color that could have been better, yeah, it's starting to get into me like, yeah, the paint could have been better. I don't like. I mean, you got that burnt chicken look to it. It's more red than it should have been charcoal gray. Yeah. Anyways, that's that. The could have been great, but disappointing. Now let's get to the bottom of my list. The first one is the King Arts Mark 43. You know, aside from that spring shoulder problem that I had, just the proportion, it just doesn't quite. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I got that is so I can put it on the Hulk Buster. But even then, it just doesn't work out for me. Not the 43 that I want in that scale. It just, yeah, the proportion, it doesn't work out for me. I still think the Sentinel the armor Sentinel or even the Figure Arts. I like the scaling on those more, or the proportion, than the King Arts. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. The bottom of my list, Pikachu. Yes, the Figure Arts Pikachu. I think the main problem with that one is articulation. They put it there, but you can only wiggle it a little bit, especially in the front. I pretty much almost destroyed the figure just to give it more articulation. And even then, I was just disappointed. That has so much potential. They could have made the joints better, made it telescoping or whatnot or something. Just put magnets on it like that Nendoroid Kirby. But no. Hey, if they make Jigglypuff, that could be a possibility. Although I'm not sure if Max Factory has the rights for Pokemon anymore. But anyways, Pikachu, disappointing. Next up is Play Art Sky in general. I think 2016 is the year when they started increasing the price. And as much as I like Play Art Sky and their crazy design and style, they used to be about $70 to $100. Now they're about $100 to $200. Yeah, I just cannot justify myself buying a $200 Play Art Sky. And yeah, it just doesn't work for me. It's too expensive, and for that you can get a lot of other cool figures for that money, and sometimes that is the limiting factor. This price point, what else could I get it for that amount of money? There's a lot of great figures that you can get for $200 aside from the Play Arts. Yeah, and hopefully. Well, I'm hoping. Well, I'm actually quite happy that they stopped the Batman Family series because, yeah, if they're going with a trend, each one's gonna be like 120 each or 150. Yeah, I cannot keep up with that. So I'm glad that series ended, but they could always add more next year. Well, we'll see. But yeah, Play Art Sky. But the quality control has gotten better, so I'm not sure if that is the trade-off. The price goes up, quality control is better. yeah, just too much. Next up is the Universal Unit. This is a candy toy by Bandai that replaced the Soul Kingdoms. Those little Gashapon, or not quite Gashapon, they're the candy toys, but some of them are blind, but a blind box. They're great, but for me, the stiff joint, that's what gets me. I didn't like him. And I really like Assault Kingdom. I'm not sure why they shifted. There's so much more design that they could have made. But I guess the assembly kind of gets into them. And they figured, hey, why not just have the buyers build them themselves? Which is a novelty idea, but you're buying a little thing. I want to play it right away. So that's my take on Universal Unit. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue getting into that line unless they release something that, or a particular mobile suit or Gundam that I like. But more than likely, I'm not going to pursue that particular line. Yeah. Alright, so let's talk about honorably mentioned next. First off, SH Figure Arts Battle Droid. I really like that one. For something with a small frame, the articulation is great. It is awesome, and he can even do a handstand. So that definitely is an amazing figure. I like it a lot. I should have put that on my top list, huh? But you know, something else. You can only put so much on your top list. Next up is the Robot Damashi Hysterica Enryugo. Now, Hysterica is the big purple one. Has a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, it's P Bandai, but definitely if you're collecting the Ragna males for Cross Ange, that is one that you should have on your set. Well, unless you're collecting all of them. Definitely that one. Next one is Enryugo. Now, this is a normal release, but it is quite surprising that the design is different from the other ones. And I really liked it a lot. It's quite unique. And yeah, I'm really happy for collecting that particular line. It's nice. There's just a lot of intricate details. It's actually quite fragile, but I haven't had much issues with them yet, so I'm happy for those. Next on my list is for that honorably mentioned. So basically, if I can continue my top list. These are them. The 12-inch Hero Meister Ultraman, and I believe they also have the variant, the recolor, which gives us the alternate head. And that one is great. Now, when you compared $300 figures, you compare that with the Mondo Iron Giant, yeah, this is the one you want to get, the Ultraman. Because if you have that on display, it has a strong presence. Even though it's not the original Ultraman design, someone will notice, hey, is that a new Ultraman? Yeah, and it's really cool. I really like that particular figure. They didn't go with the what do you call this, articulated fingers. So you have to swap out the hands, and I think that's a better option. Yeah, I don't mind having swappable hands, especially if the hand gestures he does is the common ones, like the open one, the closed fist, and it's a Spatium Ray. And I think that's it for the hands. I think I like it more that way, that they're fixed pose. Next on this list is the SH Figure Arts Hulk Buster. Now, this thing is amazing. Unfortunately, it's Pete Bandai, but luckily I got one. This would have been on my top list if not for the LED on the hand. It does not have that, unfortunately. I don't know why they didn't include that. They have it for the rest of the body, and other figures have included those, like the Sentinel. Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's a bit lacking, but in terms of the diecast and the heftiness of it, it's really nice. So definitely, SH Figure Arts Hulk Buster is in this list. Next up is the Robot Damashi anime version in general. For me, they've really improved the articulation overall for that RD line, and it is great. I really like the anime version. Unfortunately, I haven't been reviewing them as of late. I should have, but they're really cool. I did review the Gundam, and I really liked it a lot. I do have the other ones, the Zaku and the Goof. I think the Gankanon as well. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the line. Next up is Sentinel in general. Now, I really like Sentinel because they always bring in some of the obscure robots out there, like the Dankuga. It's not really obscure. A lot of people know about it, but still, for the mainstream, man, like, what is Dankuga? But they've always been releasing the Reobot line, and as well as the re-edit line. They have the different design armors that you don't see other companies are fighting over. None of the 43 to 46, which every other company made already. You have the Bleeding Edge. Yeah, you have the comic version, Hulk Buster. It's a nice, it's a little difference, which is nice. Unfortunately, their price point is still there. That kind of pulls away a lot of collectors. Yeah, again, if you're paying about 150 to 200 for something, you kind of like, I want to just add a little bit more and get something better, right? Either go for a Mel build or Hot Toys. Alright, so next up on my list, I got Tony Stark. I actually like that figure. Came out a little later of the year. And surprisingly, because you would think that they just keep chugging out more Iron Mans, but they actually made a Tony Stark. And I think he has the 42 add-on, like the hand, the foot, and gloves, which was great. And on top of that, they added a base, which is a really nice touch. And I really like that figure set. Definitely part of this list. Next up is the Verbal Action Mewtwo. Now, I said that I didn't really like Lucario, but Mewtwo is another story. I think for the size, it's great. It's more manageable, and it doesn't have that multi-articulated tail. I mean, that thing worked for Godzilla, the SH Monster Arts, but does not work for Mewtwo. It just looks weird. Yeah, and mine keep popping off from my D-Arts. So I'm happy they made the Mewtwo. It worked out quite well and has a couple of effect parts. And yeah, looking forward to other Verbal Action. Next up is Aloy Shimakaze. Now, I was actually regretting getting this one since the Kansai collection craze is over. But to my surprise, this figure is actually quite solid. Everything worked out, and I really liked it. And you have that heftiness of the die-cast on it. And definitely, it's a really nice figure. Highly recommend getting it. Lastly, we have the Figurized Mechanics Saiyan Pod. Now, this is kind of odd, but it's nice of them that they designed this. It's a kit. You put it together. It's a huge box. But definitely, it's for every Dragon Ball fan out there who've been wanting to get a Saiyan Pod, with a sizable size. Sizable size. Not even a term. A good size. There we go. They made one for us. There is an alternative, I think a third party who made one where it's pre-built and has a lady. I mean, there's that too, but I kind of like this one just for the side. I'm not going to be using the LED as much, and even then I could just put something inside to light it up. So, yeah, it's quite nice. Alright, so let's go with my top picks. Now, some of this could be can be debatable or arguable that, yeah, well, it could have been top, but other things could have been better as well. But this is my top picks. Here we go. So the first one that I really like for 2016 is the Nendoroid Kirby. I think the way they designed that is just amazing. With the use of magnets, you'll be able to put his limbs everywhere, and so easy to swap out the faces, and it comes with quite a bit of accessories. And it's one of those that you could wish you could have more. Yeah, because he does a lot of, turns into a rock or it turns into something else. But they gave us quite a bit already that it's a really nice figure, and I highly recommend getting the Nendoroid Kirby. Next up is the King Arts Hulk Buster, definitely in this list for my top. Reason being, even though it's expensive, it's huge. And if you have that on display in your living room, people will whoever comes by and visit, oh, what is that? And I'm really liking the King Arts Hulk Buster. Can't wait for the Hot Toys, whenever that'll be. yeah, it keeps getting pushed back. Just hope it does get released, and hopefully I can get one. Next up is Figma Hulk. Figma Hulk. Now this is one of those upset with SH Figure Arts. Yeah, because they made a figure. It looks nice, sorta, but the design of it, the color, is not quite the Hulk that we want. Figma, on the other hand, they're right. It's one of those kind of weird because the figure art design is what Figma will do, more anime style. But it looks like they swap. But nonetheless, Figma Hulk, it's a nice figure. Next one is the SH Monster Godzilla 2001. Now, this solved my problem of the freaking lazy eye. I'm always plagued by that. I'm not sure if those are intentional, that they really have lazy eyes. I've corrected some of my monster arts with that, but some of them are like, screw it, just leave it like the way it is. But for 2001 version, it's white out. Don't have that problem. And overall, the general design, I really liked it. It's probably my next favorite, next to the Burning Godzilla. The next two, gotta be on this list. The metal builds, Strike Freedom and Destiny. Now, if you have the add-on packs, the Wings of Light, they make the figure way better. Yeah, it takes up a lot of space, for one, but it's just radiating with awesomeness. And I'm lucky to be able to buy the metal build. They're very expensive, but for what you're getting, I think it's well worth it. I really do. Except for the red frame. Well, to be honest, the red frame is actually not that bad. It's good. It's nice. Alright, next up, we get the Figma Link DX set. Now, I think this is the first time that we get the Figma Link with a lot of accessories, being the DX set. Unfortunately, those who bought the Link just by itself probably wasn't too happy, like, where's the accessories? And I think you only pay a little difference to get the add-on. Anyways, that one is nice because of the accessory it comes with. Definitely, that's what you wanted. Not like the original when they first released the Link, where you only have the sword and the shield. Yeah, I think they're coming up with a new one. So, can't wait for that one as well. I keep forgetting what version they are. Next one that is in my list is the AGP Gore Magala. Now, that is amazing. You know, despite having problems with posing the wings, it is a bit cumbersome, but overall, that design is amazing. I really liked it, and that's the detail. I didn't have much QC issues that I had with the Yamato from the Kanto series. So this one is really nice, and I really liked it a lot. So it makes my top list. Lastly, Frame Arms Girls Jinrai Indigo version. Now, the Indigo version comes with a little bit more. We got the ninja stars in here and there, and I really liked it, and that's probably my favorite Frame Arms so far. And I can't wait to see more, and I'm really enjoying building them. I highly recommend trying out Frame Arms. And I think that's it for my list. Quite a bit. And again, I can't really trim this down. I have over 200 figures. And just to have the top 3, it's really hard. And I think on this list, I've, let's see here. I think I mentioned about number 35 or something or so. So, still, that's, what, 15% or something? That's a lot of figures to go around, but definitely I've really enjoyed the figures that came out in 2016. Can't wait for the next year. There's a lot of things pre-ordered. That's another thing I gotta watch out for. I get burned out. Sometimes I didn't realize that a lot of the great things, or a lot of good figures that are coming out the same month. I still have to pick up my metal build, blue frame, the light up Godzilla. Yeah, and some of those are released in December of 2016. Yeah, they don't get reviewed till January. Same thing with this list here. Some of these are from 2015 release, but nonetheless, I still want to have this list based off what I've already reviewed. Anyways, that's pretty much it for my picks. Hope you guys have your own picks as well. Hopefully not as crazy of a list like this one here. I'll probably copy and paste this on the description if you're just curious what they are. I'm not sure if you guys want to listen to me for 30 minutes, but I think it's already too late if you're listening to this late. Anyways, Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys, well, it's already too late to say next year. It's already 2017. Well, have a good one. Till then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.